You mentioned the possibility of Rhea and Jey against Liv and Dom. One person who would not be a fan of that is Rikishi. We talked about that. He is not a fan of that direction. Kayfabe is still real to him, damn it. And, actually, it's not. He wants to believe, or he knows, that Jey Uso is actually married in real life. Why is that not being brought up on screen? It is a little weird because they were doing videos leading up to WrestleMania with Jey and his fucking son, and, he's married and whatever, and now he's all of a sudden flirting with Rhea, and he's done that before. I mean, it's a little inconsistent, but not to the point where it bothers me. Is that a match that you would want to see, Jey and Rhea versus Liv and Dom? I feel like that might be what's next for Jey, because we've talked about for a while, what are they doing with him right now? He's out there racking up wins, which is great, but it doesn't really seem like he has any direction, so... Is it the Rhea thing? Is it reuniting with Sami Zayn? What would you like to see Jey Uso do next coming out of SummerSlam?
Wheels are spinning right now.
Yep.
Like I said, I guess you could do like a one-off. Like, obviously, I don't want to like see this as like a thing. Like, I'd rather just like maybe do a little one-off and then we move on. But like I said, on Raw, him and Sami beat Balor and McDonough. So like, they beat the tag champions. And it'd be nice to see. I think theoretically we get them back together, and then like you can intertwine Sami into the whole Bloodline thing. Like, he was there before. Like, he's like the honorary. Like, yeah, no, I feel like you could run that back again with Jey, Jimmy, and Roman against the new Bloodline. So I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't really love him with Rhea, but I think on a little one-off basis, I wouldn't hate it. But yeah, he is married in real life. Rikishi does not like that.
No, Rikishi was not a fan of that at all. He was very bothered by the fact that Jey would be interested in Rhea on television. And I hope they do it just despite Rikishi, just so I could see his reaction online, because apparently gets him very annoyed, apparently, based on his reaction on that podcast. But you mentioned the Bloodline thing. Do you think Sami Zayn's involvement in this with Jey? You mentioned like a one-off reunion with them, kind of reuniting a little bit. Is this like a taste of what we can expect in the remainder of the Bloodline saga? Because we've got the Bloodline saga going on right now on SmackDown. It's been pretty basic stuff so far on SmackDown, leading into SummerSlam with Solo on the WWE title. They've got Cody outnumbered, taking out Owens and Orton, standard stuff. Do you think this might be leading to Jey and Sami? We know Jey at some point will be involved in the Bloodline Civil War with Jimmy. We know that's coming. Do you think this might get Sami Zayn on the babyface side? So at some point, whether it's at War Games or another show, it could be Roman, Jey, Jimmy, and Sami against the modern Bloodline. I know Hikuleo they recently reported that he's actually WWE, not even bound. He is signed to the company. They're just waiting for the right time to debut him. So do you think Sami could be involved in that match based on what we saw on Monday, or is that not really something you want to say?
No, I think that I would like that more than Hikuleo, honestly. I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's like going full circle in the whole story. Reunite again. Honorary Uso. I would be so down for that. It's not even funny.
I think it'd be a fine direction for Sami Zayn, because we know he's probably should be losing the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Braun Breaker, once again, the number one contender, beating Ilya Dragunov by referee stoppage on Monday's Raw. So, I think that match would I think having Sami involved with the Bloodline stuff would make sense now that we know the match has been made official with Braun and Sami at SummerSlam. Braun wins. Sami moves on to Jey. And again, like we talked about before we hit record here, they did beat the World Tag Team Champions on Monday. WWE doesn't always follow up on stuff like that, but you would think it would make sense for Jey and Sami at some point, whether it's next week or the following week, to get a World Tag Team title opportunity. Whether they're successful or not, they should get it. And maybe that's what plants the seeds for them to be involved in whatever the Bloodline will be doing coming out of SummerSlam with Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is a free agent, so once he resurfaces, very likely at SummerSlam and soon after on SmackDown, we could see him on Raw as well to try to recruit Jey and Sami.
Give it to me.
Hey, listen, brand split be damned with Jey and Sami going to SmackDown to feud with the Bloodline. At this point, it doesn't even matter, but you could hear Roman's music hit on Raw. Maybe not the first time we see him, but Roman, do you think we could get a segment where Sami and or Roman kind of apologize to each other for what happened last year?
Give it to me.
I think that'd be amazing television.
Dude, imagine if like Roman's getting his ass kicked on SmackDown, can't do anything, comes out on Raw the next week begging for Sami and Jey to take him back. I got goosebumps going down my arm right now.
And Jimmy too?
Jimmy, I feel like already. I feel like, wasn't he here? Yeah, last time we saw Jimmy, he was aligned with Roman anyways.
He was. He got beat up by Solo and Tama Tonga.
But if Roman came back to like beg for Jey and Sami to help him, God, like I said, goosebumps on the arm right now.
I think we got to go full circle with this Roman and Sami thing because they were friends, and then Roman. I mean, I know Sami turned on him, but Roman was kind of manipulating him. They kind of have to bury that hatchet and move on. I think his friends because they were so entertaining together, reuniting or recapturing that magic with Paul Heyman too as baby faces. I feel like there's a lot of potential there.
Ugh, it's only inning 4, people.
I know Sammy's not an Anoa'i, and everyone else in this group is either a Fatu or an Anoa'i or related to them or a cousin or some shit. Sami Zayn is the only one that would stick out, but I think there is an exception to be made for that considering how entertaining of an addition he would be to the story at this point.
And he's the honorary Uso. It counts.
He should still be considered the honorary Uso. And what was that joke that he did on SmackDown? Oh, feeling Uso. Got to bring that back. Feeling Uso. You know what? Once in a while, I'll go back and watch that segment from SmackDown from like September of 2 years ago, where Roman, he had a shirt made or something. Sami had a shirt, and he was like, "Can I be the honorary Uso?" And Roman was like, "No." And you thought the turn was going to happen there. He's going to beat the shit out of him. And then he goes, "Because you're going to be wearing this shirt instead." And then he hugs him. Oh, just must-see television. Tremendous television. And then you see that look in Roman's eyes like, yeah, I'm going to lead you on for now, but at some point this will all be coming crashing. The facial expressions were just unmatched.
Prom Prince.
Hey, that match at Mania sucked with Jimmy and Jay, but hey, getting them back on the same team. I mean, I would say that it couldn't happen soon enough. For Jimmy's sake, for Jay, I would rather see him on his own. He's got to win a fucking mid-card belt at some point. This guy keeps winning matches. For a guy that wins a lot, he really can't win a title to save his life. I'm starting to think he's allergic to gold or something like that.
No, he's only allergic to gold for singles. He's won tag belts.
With Jimmy and Cody. Yeah, good point. I don't know. It's a very weird situation.
You know, it sounds like he's just a B-plus player.
I mean, listen, I made this comparison to you a week or two ago. He's like Jeff Hardy, but even Jeff Hardy in WWE won a couple world championships, albeit for a month, albeit for 5 minutes.
He was also Intercontinental champion for a little bit, too.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he was at least Intercontinental champion 5 different times over the course of a number of years. Jay hasn't done shit. He's gotten a number of, mid-card title runs, but, man, I don't know. Like, give him something, dude. Like, at least LA Knight's finally probably getting that championship. Or do you think, we'll talk about it next week when we do predictions. Do you think LA Knight will actually win at SummerSlam, or do you think they might hold off for another show?
He has to win.
I can't go on with this Logan Paul reign any longer. I like Logan Paul, but, it's been going on for 8 months. We got to move on.
Yeah, I like Logan too, but like I said, I feel like LA Knight loses again. I'm all set. It's just like you're getting to the point, he just can never win. It's like you said, same with Jay. You just never. He just loses every time. You're eventually going to lose to fan sympathy. Eventually it's going to run out. If you need to do something with these people, it's giving Braun Strowman vibes and
yeah.
When he was he would always come close and never win. Yeah, he beat Goldberg that one time, but it wasn't like that was the plan. But you got to pay it off eventually. These guys are so over. You have to give the fans something to hang their hat on.
I agree. Got to give him something. I know it's a weird landscape right now where Braun's about to become Intercontinental Champion, so Jay probably wouldn't win it anytime soon. But, hey, listen, someone asked me yesterday who would beat Braun for that IC title at some point. Jay could be the answer. He'll probably be fully entrenched in the Bloodline stuff, so maybe not. But I think Jay taking the belt off of Braun might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, just depends on what I feel like at that point he'd still be entrenched in the whole Bloodline stuff, but, maybe he can win the belt somewhere along. He can still win the belt, but I think, like I said, the priority is more the Bloodline stuff. But he needs something. Like I said, needs something to hang his hat on. The tribe's I'm getting restless over here. I love the guy, but you got to win something. The guy's a glorified loser.
He wins all these matches that just don't matter, and then he can't win whenever it matters most. We bring it up all the time. So, maybe he can beat Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. Maybe if Braun's champion for 6, 7, 8 months, maybe you can beat him there. By that point, the Bloodline stuff with his involvement could be over.